Hello everybody and welcome back to Imperator, where we've still got two projects in progress here. First off, we are bulking up our military, as we have been for a while. We've still got a deficit of about 20,000 men, plus another 20,000, because we're increasing our army size. So that's the thing. So that'll take some time, but that's okay. Because we are also working internally on getting some of our cities properly built up. Now this one here, this is in the province, or rather in the city of Debark. So this is building up this fortress over here, that's fine. But we are working on specializing some of our cities and making many of our settlements into cities. Also between episodes, I decided I think I know how I'm going to handle whether a city gets upgraded to a metropolis or not. I don't think I want every city to be a metropolis eventually. So I think the only ones that we're going to make be a metropolis are going to be provincial capitals, such as Gwara or Yeha, or important ports, such as Aduli or Akelis or Diere. Things like that. So we're going to have a fair number of metropolises, but we're going to mostly be running cities. That's kind of the idea anyway. So let's just continue ticking on forward. Fantastic. And getting Gwara converted over to a manpower production powerhouse should give us some good manpower. Roha is now a city. We'll decide later on what we actually want to specialize that city into being. But we do need to get another settlement going. Also, metropolises, they cost twice as much as cities. They take the same amount of time, but they cost twice as much. And that does mean that our cities are going to be offline for 2 years, as opposed to a settlement. So we need to have a bunch of cities ready to take up that slack. There's no doubt about that. So let's go ahead and get Awash upgraded to a city. Fantastic. And we'll just, I think, prioritize putting up cities, and then we'll decide how we want to specialize cities. Like, Agawe is almost certainly already specialized into a tech city, right? So we could build a library basically ASAP. Slaves in Gwara would become freemen. That would be a really good thing for us, actually. Yeah, we're gonna do that. That actually gets us well, actually, it rounded, so 3 manpower per month because of that decision. That's actually a huge deal. I'm very happy about that. And we are aiming at 50% ideal fraction. So, I don't know what our ideal fraction is going to be when we do this. This is a new recording session. I don't quite remember if we made it to 50 or not, but it was close, if I recall correctly. And we're just going to be trying to pump out a particular thing out of every single city, much the same way we do with Stellaris. So that'll be perfect. We're also currently making 19 per month, mostly via taxes, but our commerce is coming up, and especially in cities with high proportions of citizens, like research cities like this one, that's going to continue to be the case. Now, we could very easily go ahead and build a library for additional citizen ideal fraction. That brings it to 47%. And then the next one would increase by another 6, so 53%. The question is, do we go to the lowest amount that is over 50%, or the highest amount that is under 50%? And I don't have an answer. It kind of depends on what our ideal fraction is here, right? Like, what is our ideal fraction right now? Currently, the optimal ratio of freemen in Gwara is 45%. Sweet, we'll take some money. Currently, it's 45%. And that does mean that when this builds, it's going to be going up by 6%, so to 51%. Okay. Well, that answers the question. That means that we are going to need another library over here. There's no doubt about that. Now, we do have this guy who's currently rather disloyal, but he's just keeping his troops there drilling, so I'm perfectly fine with just waiting out his death as long as he's going to do that. Oh, and we also have some people supporting the wrong heir. So let's go ahead and fix that. Easy peasy. And let's get ourselves an omen as well. And I think I'm not too interested in Blessing of Aluza, because according to the math, the difference there is roughly 1,200 manpower. It'll be a little higher than that now, but it's not going to be super high. So I think Blessing of Oratalt is the one to go for right now. Excellent. We do have some inventions available. The State Religion Happiness might be a good thing to pick up right now, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. These other ones I'm not too interested in doing, and we're pouring all of our money into city upgrades right now, so I don't think it's super useful. It also bears noting that this guy's army is now maxed out, and it is going into the Katabian army, which is a huge deal because this guy is actually loyal. So that's great. And his loyalty is going up a bit. Okay. That's good. Now, we do need our tyranny to go down, but that's okay. Oh, this guy's supporting the wrong guy. And we can't tell him not to. Because he's the disloyal one? No. This is the general of the Katabian army. Interesting. Regardless, I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay. So we got a forum and a library built over here. So that means that our ideal fraction over here is actually at 46%. Or actually 45%. And we have 46%. Okay, interesting. Kataba, I do not want to ally you right now. Please go away. So that means that we do need one additional forum here, right? Because that would bring us up, hypothetically, if we could build one. We can't right now because we need another set of pops. But if we could hypothetically build one, then we would want to do that. Similarly, over here, the current ideal fraction for citizens is actually 41%. And I'm wondering why this is giving us a different ideal fraction than what the preview was. Interesting. I'm not sure. Regardless, we do need to continue upgrading cities, and we're going to have enough relatively soon. We're making 20 per month right now, which is just going to keep going up as we keep growing our cities. We're going to keep getting more and more powerful building internally like this, and I really feel like this is the time to be doing this. Since we really can't afford to be fighting any additional wars right now, we do need a large amount of additional troops, so that's going to be a thing. I'm going to go ahead and right-click these inventions for now. We don't need any of these. None of those are important to us currently, and I'd rather have the money for other projects, such as upgrading a Sheda here. So let's go ahead and get this up to a city as soon as... Are we going to make it this month tick? No, we are not. We're going to make it next month tick. Okay, fair enough. You still drilling over here? Yes, he is. Excellent. Now we're going to recruit to this army last as long as he's in control. It only makes sense. There we go. Found a city. Excellent. And as we continue this snowball, it's just going to get faster and faster, realistically. And we're going to have a lot of our current slaves be converted into other things. So we should expect our taxes to be slowly replaced by commerce. Do freemen produce commerce? They only output manpower, I think. So that's a thing. Yeah. They only output manpower. Okay. Sounds good. Can we make you support our heir? No, we cannot. That's okay. We have no risk of a civil war, and we could potentially import something if there's something to import. And there is not, so that's fine. Okay, so Debark is definitely becoming a fortress city. So realistically, this is probably going to end up being a manpower city once this is no longer a frontier. But for right now, I definitely want to keep the fortress here. And that does mean that the academy and library can probably be removed. I'm going to remove the library first. And then we are going to go with a second fort for right now, for one more fort level. Oh, hello. This guy, the guy that's being a complete and total jerk, he wants to be recognized officially as a man of noble birth. We would lose 5 stability for this. I think that's okay. He would lose 10 loyalty, but he's already bottomed out at 0. So, no. That's not going to be a thing. Let's go ahead and do a quick sacrifice to the gods. Now that is going to cost us a fair amount of political influence, which we are losing currently as we upgrade more of these cities. It's not just the treasury cost, there's also a political influence cost. That said, we should get that done relatively quickly. And we were working over here on building, not an academy, hang on. No. I wanted a fort here. There we go. And then we were going to get rid of this academy and construct in a forum, probably. But I want to wait on doing that because we're still getting some research points out of this. So I want to wait on that until this is done for sure. Excellent land management in the province of Punt, huh? 10% food until end of game. We're going to take that. 10% local food until end of game seems pretty good to me. Okay, so that pretty much sets us up with 3 of our templates. The only other question is... Oh, hello, Awash. Thank you. The only other question is there another specialization that we want other than manpower production? Yes, there is. Gold production. And specifically for that, we would do mills. So like, for example, a Defa here, we could make that into a slave production. This increases the slave output, slave happiness, and local slave ideal fraction. And then what goes into that in terms of the production there? That's Freeman, tax. I guess the tax office is what you multiply that with. Yeah, and aqueducts. But let's go ahead and build a mill here. We can go ahead and specialize a Defa. And then I think we just try to keep them relatively even. We'll have a few of these fortress settlements, or fortress cities, but by and large, I think we should try to keep it relatively even. So over here, we've currently got, this is a fortress city, so we're not counting that. We'll specialize it properly after it's done being a fortress. Like we push up over here and this becomes a new fortress. Then we re-specialize these forts. But this one is a manpower output. Oh, Euclid is going to be upset if we don't grant him an office. He's our primary heir. And our younger brother. Okay. That's interesting. We don't really have an office to give him. What's he good at? He's very charismatic, actually. We could maybe fire our royal tutor and have him be that. That would be an upgrade. There we go. if I don't knock my pop shield out of the way. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to be able to upgrade another city very soon, and for now I'm going to be keeping this to the province of Tana. Now, we don't control these two cities, or settlements, I guess, but we do control these over here, and this one is already building. So Carmel and Dire Dawa will be the next ones that we go for, I think. So as soon as this month tick happens, we'll get this one upgrading. Now that is taking 50 political influence, and we are going to run out of that relatively soon, but when we do, we'll be able to put the money into specializing cities. So that'll be no worries there. And we've still got a fair amount of time before our armies are fully replenished. However, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.